is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Thursday edition of Main Street Sports today on this cold and rainy Thursday in early February. Brad Slaughter will join us, Santa Fe boys basketball coach. Also, a legend retires in high school football in the state of Tennessee. We'll talk about it. Team of the week, player of the week, all of that coming up, plus a little college hoops conversation and full coverage of National Signing Day from our team of Main Street reporters. Now, back to the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton, and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome in. It is Thursday, and boy, is it a rough one. I don't know if you guys have looked outside the windows recently, but not looking great here in the southern middle part of Tennessee. But, Mo, how's it look outside your window there?
Wet.
I've got like 27 windows. They're all wet.
Yeah.
It's rough. Rough out here today. But that's okay. We'll get over it.
It's not
pretty. We've seen worse. Of course, it could be worse later tonight as you see us coming from our humble abodes because, well, none of us wanted to drive after the show and potentially run into some icy weather. So it's going to be a good day, though. We've got a great show. JP just told you about it. High school hoops, college football, signing day. Lots to get to. So let's roll on. Pretty short rundown today, actually, which is always good because that gives us a little bit more time to talk about our top story, and we've got a pretty big one today. So why don't we go ahead and give them Wednesday's results, Thursday's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Junior college men's basketball action from Wednesday night. Columbia State with an 81-57 win at the Webb over Volunteer State. Women's action, the Lady Chargers started the doubleheader sweep with a 74-36 win over Vol State. In NBA action on Wednesday night, the Grizzlies with a 120-108 win at Madison Square Garden over the Knicks. NCAA men's basketball action, Southeastern Conference played number 5, Kentucky, with a 77-70 win over a scrappy Vanderbilt bunch at Rupp Arena.
I'm sure we'll talk about that a little later. In high school basketball tonight, as far as we know, we have not heard any different. Columbia Academy scheduled to take on Lighthouse Christian on the road. NCAA men's action, Austin Peay is hosting Murray State. The men will be at 4:30 on ESPN+. It's Stetson at Lipscomb. That's a 7:15 tip on ESPN+. And Belmont is at Tennessee State. That's a 7:30 tip, also on ESPN+. Women before that, in most of those cases, Murray State and Austin Peay is at 2. Stetson and Lipscomb at 5. Both of those on ESPN+. Belmont, Tennessee State at 5:30 on ESPN+. In the SEC action on the ladies' side, number 7 Tennessee takes on Florida. That's at 5 o'clock. And Vanderbilt will be at number 14 Georgia at 6 o'clock. Both of those on SEC Network Plus. And I told you that's it. Quick run down today. But plenty of time to talk about our top story, Mo, which comes to us from East Tennessee.
Specifically Blount County.
Not
Alcoa's no, not Blount. Blunt. The O is silent, I guess. So get it out of here. Well, I would say Alcoa is looking for a new coach, but they're not actually. No. Gary Rankin announced his resignation, I guess, since he's going to stay on in administration at the school as an assistant principal, but he's stepping down as football coach at Alcoa after leading the Tornadoes to 13 state championships in 16 seasons, giving him 17 state titles for his career in Tennessee high school coaching after winning 4 at Riverdale in 16 years there. 467 career victories over 40 years at Smith County, his alma mater, Riverdale, and Alcoa. So as JP said at the top of the show, definitely one of Tennessee's high school football coaching legends, shutting it down. Brian Nix, the longtime defensive coordinator for Alcoa, will slide into the head coaching role there.
It's pretty wild to think that Gary Rankin has about an 86 to 87% win percentage in his career.
57.
What is it?
857. He's 467 and 78 for his career.
That's insane. Seriously, that's insane.
It's even more than that. Just at Alcoa, he's 215 and 21 at Alcoa. So I think it's 9-11.
Yeah, and of those 21, 10 plus losses to Maryville?
A pretty good bunch of them to Maryville.
Probably at least
more to Maryville than to everybody else combined, I would imagine.
That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah. Man, that is unreal. A guy who is an absolute legend. We talked about it. Matter of fact, a buddy of mine, and when we got the word that Kenny Morrison was out at Fayetteville, I guess we got that yesterday or maybe the day before, taking the head coaching job down at Florence, Alabama, and they also elevated their defensive coordinator. So, some, I guess Fayetteville's a perennial state power or state power for the last 3 years anyway. And didn't look like they were going anywhere. So a couple of big time coaching moves here in the state. And we talked with Donovan Stewart not too long ago, and he said he expected more to come down the pike. So I'm curious to see where some of those coaching changes come from.
A couple of hirings down in Chattanooga today, as well as former Baylor coach Phil Massey took the Chattanooga Christian program over, and Baylor also named a coach with South Carolina high school coaching ties. So,
well, yeah, Baylor is one of those programs that can do that. They can go out and get someone. When they say they open up the nationwide coaching search, Baylor's
they actually
mean it.
Yeah. South Carolina tight ends coach Eric Kimmery is the new coach at Baylor.
It's a pretty big get, I would think.
Prior to joining the program there, he had coached at a private school over in South Carolina and been quite successful. I'm not immediately finding that information, but saw it earlier today. So.
I don't think that we're going to see another Gary Rankin certainly not anytime in the near future. A guy who has done it at the highest level at every place he's been. You cannot overstate how impressive his run as a head coach in this state was. And I'm just glad I got the chance to see it live and in person a couple of times.
Yeah, I just don't think the climate is such that you're going to see coaches stay in it long enough to do what Gary Rankin has done. I mean, you look over at Maryville, and George Quarles was on a similar trajectory there, and he decides to leave for the collegiate ranks, and is now after spending some time on the staff over at Furman, he's the head coach up at East Tennessee State. I mean, I think guys are either if they are doing the things that those guys were doing at that high level, they're going to leave for someplace else, or they're just going to get out of it if they're not. And like you said, nobody, the only person I can think of right off the top of my head that I would put in that Rankin Qualls trajectory would be Kevin Creasy over at Oakland.
Yeah, Coach Creasy certainly has made his mark, a very similar one indeed. Alcoa hired Brian Nix. He began coaching at Maryville College in 2000. 2001, he moved to Colorado Springs. He coached 3 years before coming back to Alcoa in 2004 as defensive coordinator. He's been part of 15 state championships and was the 2021 Broyles Award winner in the state of Tennessee, honoring the top assistant coach. That's waiting your turn, isn't it?
There you go.
That is waiting your turn. Talk about head coaching waiting. But pretty impressive. Be looking forward to see what Brian Nix does at Alcoa and how that affects that program. When we come back, more high school as we get into Coach's Corner and talk to Santa Fe boys basketball coach Brad Slaughter, who was a big winner this week, but not so fast, my friend. He's got to turn around and play that same team again this weekend. So, District 10A, big matchups. So we'll talk to him about that and their win on a Tuesday. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today returns right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in to Main Street Sports Today. Presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are in the Lee Company studio. Glad to have you along with us here as we get you ready for the weekend ahead. There's a big weekend in high school sports coming your way, and we will talk about that in just a moment. But first, we need to hand out some hardware, Mo.
We do indeed.
So let's talk about The End to Win Life Team of the Week presented by our friends at Custom Stone Handlers. This one is pretty impressive win for these ladies.
Hey, yeah, Independence with a double overtime win over Summit last weekend. Their first 12-4A victory of the season, 54-53 in that one. So, like you said, pretty impressive in a district that is really kind of becoming Ravenwood and everybody else. I think there's going to be a lot of jockeying for, trying to stay out of that 4-5 game at the end of the year, and Independence gave themselves a chance to do that with that victory. So that's a big win for first-year coach Tony Hill and company there, the Lady Eagles, getting it done over Summit, 54-53 in double OT, and earning the End to Win Life team.
Yes, and the Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Player of the Week goes to, well, we'll keep it in Santa Fe. Santa Fe's Emmy Bates, who averaged a little more than 18 points last week. Huh?
Yeah, had a big 26-point game during the week. They played 3 games. Scored 26. I think it was in the win over Hampshire. Is that right?
Was it Hampshire or Culleoka? She had a big night against Culleoka, too.
That's probably Culleoka then. I'm probably misremembering. Seen a lot of games.
And, well, that one particularly, she was a major factor in them being able to make the comeback there, even as Culleoka, had a couple of girls foul out. But I'll tell you, she catches and shoots as well as I've seen a girl's basketball player catch and shoot at the Class A level in a while outside of Summertown, Loretto. I mean, really does a good job of finding her spot. And when she catches it, she's going up with it. She's not trying to set her feet and wait, that sort of thing. So impressive.
10 of 13 from the free throw line in that one as well. So
that'll do it.
They're free,
It'll help you. You got to hit them. That's right. All right, that's going to do it for the hardware as we now head to Coach's Corner presented by From the Heart Cafe in Chapel Hill. Don't forget Renee Hart and the folks over at From the Heart doing a phenomenal job keeping you fed and happy if you are in Chapel Hill. And if you're not in Chapel Hill, make the short drive. It's worth it, I promise. The desserts are phenomenal. The sandwiches are great. No matter what you get, Renee's going to take care of you. So From the Heart Cafe in Chapel Hill, just before Henry Horton State Park, you're going to want to turn right if you're coming from Columbia, and then back immediately into the parking lot. So there you go. On Coach's Corner today, we have Santa Fe boys basketball coach Brad Slaughter, who knows all too well about how important the free throws are. Coach, welcome in.
Thanks for having me, guys. So, free throws for us. Mo got to catch the Richmond game. So, we made some big ones down the stretch for sure, and an awesome game on Tuesday night.
Yeah, made some big ones, like you said, and got a big performance out of your senior after scoring leader Alden Slaughter kind of struggled through the first half and through the game. Andy kind of put the team on his back in the second half and kind of forced overtime and then led you guys to that 45-43 victory over Richland on Tuesday. That's a nice little in case of emergency break glass type situation to have right there, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, for Andy, he's just a selfless player. This year is actually his lowest scoring average points per game wise since he was a freshman, and nothing to do with him not playing as well. Just more balanced offense and him really wanting to play true point guard for us. But really in several games this year, anytime it was we were in a tight competitive game, Andy's been 20 points plus for us, and been there when we needed him to score, and that's what we needed Tuesday. And he stepped up and really took over down the stretch, like we all knew he could.
And I think Brad, that's what has to be special about your team is the fact that they recognize that Auden is a very talented scorer and Andy is a guy who, when you've got to have a basket, can get you one. And the rest of the guys that you put on the floor, you talk about Andy being selfless, but the rest of those guys kind of follow that same recipe in that they're not trying to say, what about me? I can score, I mean, they're right there with it. That everybody seems to be on the same page.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's one of the things that's so special about this team. Like you said, I mean, we've really just enjoyed the ride. It's nice to be sitting here at 18-3, but I've talked to a lot of coaches that have had winning seasons that didn't necessarily equate to a good time. But these guys, we all just truly enjoy each other's company. I mean, 13 players, 3 coaches. We've really talked a lot this year about just slowing down and enjoying the ride and enjoying each other's company. And we just have a great group of kids. And I think more than anything, that's what you're seeing on the floor. Every one of the guys, it's win first, it's team first. And, I think you see that in how we play. So just a really good group of guys. Proud of them.
4th ranked Santa Fe. Did you expect that?
No, I can't say I did, but it's a funny thing. Coming into the season, we had one goal, and we still do, and we've said we will not make another one until we reach that one. But it was just to, win the regular season first place, and then be in a position to compete for a district championship. And so we're taking it one step at a time. I think. As the wins start to build up, there's, certain outside expectations. But, honestly, Mo, we don't really pay a lot of attention to that. We're just trying to get better in practice every day and get better in the games and work on our weaknesses. So, definitely proud of the accomplishment, but we don't pay too much attention to that.
Doesn't care what you think, Associated Press. Coach, when you and I talked after the Culleoka game, you said that this team is just different. There's a different mentality. You've got some players that make a difference that maybe haven't in the past. You've got a little extra size. You're able to put guys like Colton Stewart, who can play that swing guy, play inside outside. You can bring him in more because of the extra guard play that you have. What is it about this team that makes them so special?
Well, you hit on some of it, but, I would start with leadership. I think that, our captains, the 3 seniors, they set the tone, and we have some really talented freshmen, obviously, and, a lot of times they don't necessarily want to listen to what coach says, but they are going to listen to those guys, that our leadership and our captains just do a really good job of getting us all on the same page. They're an extension of me for sure in practice and on the floor, and they come to work hard every day, and they make sure we have fun while we're working hard. So, number one is leadership, and it's really led to no outside distractions. We don't have problems with grades. We don't have problems with bad attitudes or anything. It's just everybody working toward a common goal. So, I got to take my hat off to my captain, number one, but we have, I feel like we have all of the pieces where we didn't really before. You mentioned Colton Stewart. He's a guy that really changes our team. I mean, he leads us in rebounding. He can guard the other team's best player, whether he's a guard or whether he's a post player. He can score inside or out. He's a guy that's capable of going for 20 or more points any night. And he starts our fast break for us, which is a big deal. I think he, you don't see a lot of post players in single A basketball getting a rebound and having the ball at half court within a second or two. And he's excellent at doing that and getting us into our fast break. And, obviously we have Andy Steele who can score and really lead us from the point guard. And then, Auden, who is the explosive scorer and that we go to a lot and can really play off of him. got Landon Evans that comes in off the bench. I like to say we have 6 starters. You know, he plays starter minutes, and he's my Dennis Rodman. That's what I call him. He comes off the bench, plays really, really hard, and goes after rebounds. And you know, he's got 5 fouls that he's not worried about using, and he plays that way every minute on the floor.
Well, if Landon Evans is your Dennis Rodman, then does that make Macon Atkinson with his 3-point shooting ability your Vinnie Johnson?
I think he is. You know, I think he is. I tell him all the time, and you know, he's the other thing about Macon Atkinson is he's one of the smartest basketball players you will see from a basketball IQ standpoint, especially as a freshman. Sometimes it's almost annoying. He's so high IQ. He makes sure to let me know when I'm wrong, and he makes sure to let me know when he's seeing something that I don't. But no, I really appreciate it, and I tell him all the time when he's making his outside shot, I think we're very, very hard to beat. You know, your team has to you know, worry about stopping the penetration of Alden and Colton and Andy, and he gets looks. And so when he's knocking down that outside shot, we're just really, really tough to defend.
Visiting here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill with Santa Fe boys basketball coach Brad Slaughter. Santa Fe, as we said, the 4th-ranked Wildcats coming off of that 45-43 win at home Tuesday night over Richland in District 10A play, and get the sequel Saturday down at Richland. But before that, Brad, you've got Wayne County coming to your place tomorrow night, and as much as everybody is looking forward to Saturday night, you got to be careful, because Wayne County is 12-11 going into their game tonight at Hampshire, 3-3 in district play. So, I mean, this one tomorrow night kind of has trap game written all over it if you're not careful, I guess.
For sure. I advertised it to my team last night as it was the most important game of the week. You know, from a district standing, you know, standpoint, Wayne County beat Richland. And so, you know, if we could actually lose to Richland and win the rest of our games, and we would still have that number 1 seed, which is our goal. But, you know, you lose, you drop one of those games to Collinwood or next week or to Wayne County, and, you know, it's problematic. So, yes, I think it would be easy for an immature team to kind of look past and look at Richland, but I'm certainly hopeful we're not doing that. You know, I'm definitely taking it serious. And, you know, that's what we talked about at practice yesterday. We're not doing Richland game plan stuff in practice this week. We're focused strictly on Wayne County, and you know, it's been 2 weeks in a row now, 3 games in a week. So this is 6 games for us in 2 weeks because of some of the snow reschedules that we had to have. So, you know, we got to try to take care of our bodies and get back ready to play. You know, 2 nights in a row too. So, challenging rest of the week for sure.
I think this weekend is going to be a obviously telltale for you guys, and you play probably the 2 toughest teams that you'll play the rest of the year. So looking forward to seeing how you guys react to that coming off the big win. But we appreciate it as always, Brad. I know that you guys are looking forward to District 10A play and District 10A tournament time. So we will be as well, because it's a tough district.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's, you know, you look at it, and you know, Wayne County has that win over Richland, and Culleoka beat Wayne County, and Collinwood beat Culleoka. So, you know, we're fortunate to be sitting at 6-0 right now, but we know it's really a very competitive district to beat any team any night. So got to stay on your toes in 10A.
And you know firsthand that number 1 seed in the tournament doesn't always mean everything you think it does either, huh? So
that's for sure.
So you got to play them all, Brad. Got to play them all. And we appreciate you as always, man. Thanks for taking some time with us, and we look forward to seeing you the rest of the week.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
That's Brad Slaughter, the Santa Fe boys basketball coach, coming off their big win over state tournament qualifier last year, Richland. And they will take on Wayne County tomorrow night, Richland again on Saturday. It's going to be a big week for the Wildcats down here in southern Middle Tennessee. When we come back, we'll keep talking about some high school stuff from around the area and around the region. Mo, I got a score for you. I don't know if you've seen it, and we'll get your reaction to it when we come back. It's pretty wild. So y'all stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back to the Lee Company studio after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yao, joined by Mo Patton here on this Thursday edition. Glad to have you guys with us and looking forward to getting you ready for the weekend that is coming up in high school sports. Got some big basketball games around the area, but also it's state duels meet weekend, Mo, and I know that you will be at the Williamson County Ag Expo on Saturday, taking in some wrestling, including local Team Summit coming in 34-4 on the season and looking to upend the alma mater of their coach, Cleveland, who they would have to meet in the finals.
They would have to meet the alma mater of Pete Miller in the finals, but they would have to meet one of Pete Miller's alma mater's fiercest rivals to open things on Saturday as they take on Bradley Central in the quarterfinals. So big day for Summit. That's a big one right out of the box. The other opening round matchups in Class AA are Cleveland and Nolensville, Maryville and Dobbins Bennett, and Clarksville and Wilson Central. So should Summit somehow get past Bradley Central, most likely they've got Wilson Central in the semis before they would catch, in all likelihood, Cleveland in the championships. As you look at the Tennessee high school football, the Tennessee high school wrestling coaches poll this week. Cleveland is number one in the Class A/D2 poll. Wilson Central is 4, Bradley Central is 5, Summit is 8, Nolensville is 11. So, again, they've definitely got an uphill battle, the Spartans do. In Class A, a couple of local teams of interest. Page opens against Signal Mountain in quarterfinal action, and Fairview's got Tullahoma. So it's going to be a lot of good wrestling out at the Ag Expo on Saturday. It all starts up at 9. Championship matches in Class A, Class AA, Division II AAA, and Division II AAA are all set for 7:30. So long day, fun day.
Pigeon Forge in that Class A bracket. Then Fairview won it last year, right?
Yes,
and they beat Pigeon Forge.
I believe that's right.
Pigeon Forge is a wrestling power, just like Cleveland and some of the others, if I'm not mistaken. I guess I'm just trying to recall their all the state championships that are on the sign when you come in from Gatlinburg, right?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They have built a nice little program up there, and it's intriguing. Tullahoma and Page have both been large schools until this reclassification, and as we talked to Mark Reeves on the first takedown this past week, he kind of walked us through the reclassification and the process and the thought process behind it, and just dividing the schools that wrestle in half rather than allowing their classifications in other sports to kind of dictate where they were for wrestling. So when you halved the wrestling programs in Division I, Page and Tullahoma fell into the bottom half in terms of enrollment numbers. So
wow, that was a common sense decision. Well done, TSSAA.
Yeah, to have those two programs come in. So it'll be interesting to see, I think. And I think some of these other traditional small schools like Fairview, like Signal Mountain, like Pigeon Forge are kind of interested to measure themselves against a Page and a Tullahoma as well. So I think that's going to be really interesting to keep an eye on Saturday.
In Division 2, small schools, it's Good Pasture and Chattanooga Christian, and then BGA and Lakeway Christian. And then in the large school championship, it's Father Ryan taking on MBA, and then Christian Brothers and Baylor. That should be interesting. Christian Brothers 17-3, Baylor 13-1. Obviously, we know the Chattanooga wrestling scene pretty impressive in its own right. So should be a really good class, large class wrestling tournament in D2. Mm-hmm. And then there's the Final Four of the girls includes Tullahoma, Rossview, and Clarksville, which obviously up in Montgomery County, and then Cleveland. That's like Cleveland's there too. Surprise, surprise.
Hey, yeah, go figure, huh?
They seem to be pretty good at wrestling over there. Mm-hmm. A hoop score, Mo, that stuck out from earlier this week. But first, I want to mention we talked to Tommy Bryan on Tuesday ahead of that Lebanon-Cookeville top 10 matchup, and Cookeville took care of business. So it was 63-40, I believe, was the final there. Let me make sure of that. It's pretty close to that. So, yes, but the score that kind of jumped out at me. Have you seen this Joe Burns Knowledge Academy score?
I have not.
91-4. I mean, I know Joe Burns is pretty good, but geez,
that's tough. And that's tough on both sides. And we've seen some scores like that over the course of the season. We saw an 82-9. I can't remember who it was that played in it. Columbia Central beat Overton's girls pretty soundly earlier this year, to the point that Overton decided not to play the second game. That's why Overton and Central was a boys only game last Friday. But I don't know what you do about it. And everybody's so quick to say somebody ran the score up. Unless you actually saw the game, I'm just not sure that you can make that assertion, because there's only so much you can do to not score.
Especially when you're a small school like Joe Burns, you don't have a deep roster as it is. And what are you going to do? Just, I mean, I guess you could just stand out there and run around for a while.
I don't know. I think that's even more insulting than scoring.
Give me a chance. Give me a chance to have the ball and score. Now, if you score, that's fine, but I want a chance to score.
I don't know what the winning team is supposed to do in that situation.
I
mean, just shoot threes. What if they hit them? I don't know. Just shoot layups. And if they can't defend and you can get to the rim, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you hear in other states about coaches getting suspended and different stuff like that for beating somebody too badly.
Yeah. Cane Ridge was a big winner over Smyrna, 78-36. Man, have you seen some of these dunks that Brandon Miller's putting down?
Yeah.
They're insane.
He's pretty special.
He is a special player. I know you got a chance to see him earlier this year against Independence, but I'm looking forward to seeing him later in the season as well. But yeah, a lot of great high school sports coming up this weekend. Again, it's state duels in wrestling. You can catch mainstreetpreps.com for full coverage from the wrestling guy, Mo Patton. He's the wrestling guy. And I'm sure there will be a first takedown episode coming before.
First takedown tomorrow features Page Coach Benji Gray.
There you go. First takedown. Follow him on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, ms_sports today. We'll have plenty to talk about in the rest of the show, but we're going to take a break and go to halftime here. So stick around. Main Street Sports today. Again, right back to the Lee Company studio after this. Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mo, yesterday was National Signing Day. As we all know, there was a signing in a school zone called Hector. And I'm not sure entirely where Hector is, but a kid signed with Sterling College in Sterling, Kansas, and the kid's name is straight out of Coffeetown from West Blankenship. Butter Dixon. Butter.
Smooth like.
A reply to the tweet says, I almost got conned by someone pretending to be this kid once. Almost had me fooled, and now when I look back at those text messages, I can't believe it's not Butter. Yes, that was a marginally good joke.
Marginally good. Marginally good. What position does Butter play? It's got to be a running back, right?
Right? He's slicing through like hot knife.
He's slippery. Yeah.
Oh man, it was wild. I couldn't. Sometimes we talked about the all name team at the Blue Cross Bowl, the all name, and there were some good ones, but I don't know that any of them would have topped Butter Dixon. So
No.
Oh, what else is going on in the world of weird stuff? Anything exciting? You got
You're the one that finds all that weird stuff.
I know. What about? Let me ask you this. Sorry. What are your plans for Sunday? Are you going to watch the Clash? Just for the sheer curiosity of it?
I will probably check in on the Clash just for the sheer curiosity, like you said, unless I go to Atlanta.
I keep thinking. I can't decide if I want to just take the trip or not.
Depends on what this weather does, I guess.
I'm gonna get in trouble if we go and we don't go to the aquarium. Though, so
there's that. Yeah.
Anyway, second half coming up. We've got signing day. All that you need to know. College hoops. What did Rick Carlisle say about Terry Taylor? Gee. And also college football NLI stuff. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today returns to Lee Company Studio after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
It's the second half of Main Street Sports Today on this Thursday. Coming up, full report from our team of Main Street Preps reporters on National Signing Day, plus college hoops. And will Rick Carlisle ever know about the Ohio Valley Conference? College football, NIL or NLI, however you want to say it, and more. Back to the Lee Company studio with the two zaniest guys this side of the Duck River, Hall of Famer Mo Patton and Chris Yao.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to find out. Where if the OVC could send him a care package? They probably should at this point.
But a bunch of T-shirts from each of the schools?
Yeah, with Terry Taylor's name on the back of Austin Peay's. What we're talking about is Indiana Pacers coach Rick Carlisle has now twice made mention of the small school, whatever school it is that Terry Taylor came from, a guy who went undrafted out of Austin Peay State University.
Where was that again?
And exactly. And he played, I guess, a year or two in the G League, or maybe several years in the G League. I'm not sure, but
No. Terry Taylor just came out last year, I think. He's just been killing it in the G League this year at Fort Wayne.
Maybe that's what
for
it was.
The Mad
Ants.
So
so he's in the G League. He's really playing well. He's doing a really good job. And then Indiana needs him to step into a role because of an injury. And the next thing you know, another injury forces him into playing almost full time. And last night, Terry had a ball game. And then after the game, once again, for the second time in a row, when he's been asked about Terry Taylor, he said, this guy's an undrafted free agent out of some small school and a small school in an obscure conference. Is that what he said?
Obscure school in a small conference.
Right. Same thing, different shapes.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's interesting to me that the Ohio Valley Conference is some small conference and with obscure schools, considering that one of the front runners for the National Basketball Association's Most Valuable Player Award played in that same conference. What in the world? In what world does that make sense, Mo?
Quiet as it's kept. Played at Murray State before reaching the NBA and going as the number 2 pick in the draft, 3 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, the Pelicans are regretting that one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you hate that. But yeah, that's probably the case. Okay, so here's one. I mean, Rick Carlisle coached with one of the OVC's all-time greats. Popeye Jones was one of Carlisle's assistants at Dallas.
Did we lose Mo?
I think we lost Mo there for a moment. While he'll hopefully reconnect, as you can see on the screen there's what you guys were talking about, Coach Carlisle. But
yeah, Austin P.
Yep.
This is the second time they tweeted and said, "Hey, Coach Carlisle, obscure school in whatever school Terry Taylor is from here again." What's not so obscure is Terry Taylor's ability to create double doubles. It's just his thing. So it's pretty interesting there. Yeah. To me, this is, I think Carlisle is trolling at this point. I think he knows,
surely,
where Terry Taylor went to school. But here's the thing. This is getting traction here, right? So now more Austin P people are going to start watching Indiana Pacers games, probably.
Absolutely.
And that's the goal, is to get more eyeballs on your team. And it's Rick Carlisle, marketing genius. Who knew?
That's right. You wouldn't think with his personality that, but he's awfully dry. And
he really is.
Been around the block a time or two. So,
that's hey, marketing genius it is.
Yeah, he's a wily vet.
JP, did you see any of that Vanderbilt game that we were talking about yesterday? The Kentucky Vanderbilt game. The officiating in the Southeastern Conference is struggling. I mean, Vanderbilt may have had a chance to win that game if there had ever been an opportunity for either team to get some flow to the game.
I had it on the second TV, so I had the volume down. So I wasn't aware of the actual, what the calls were. I did see Stackhouse get pretty animated. Calipari got pretty animated. So there were obviously some issues, but it was tough because there were a lot of fouls, especially in that second half. There was not a whole lot of flow to it. But gritty. Mo called it gritty, and Vandy. Again, just when I'm about to lose hope about this team, they go out and have a performance like that, and gritty and compete, and that's all you can ask for. They competed last night. I was proud of that.
Flow is such an important part of college basketball, and there just wasn't any.
Yeah. Mo, I think you're back with us now.
I think so. Can you hear me?
Hey, there you are. All right.
Hey. Hello. I'm over here. No, like Vandy cut it to 1 in the second half, right?
Yeah, they got it. They got it close.
Yeah, I mean, for that team to get within one of Kentucky, especially with the way Kentucky's playing right now, at Rupp, I mean, that's a
Outscored them
tough
in the second
loss, but I
half,
think you've
though.
got to be able to take a lot out of that if you're Vanderbilt.
They outscored them in the second half. It was 44-43 with 16 minutes to go in the second half, and I think, they ended up getting as close as 56-52, and I think that was as close as they got the rest of the way. But, I mean, yeah, you got to be impressed by, Vanderbilt hasn't given up. And when Scottie Pippen Jr. is able to go 11 from 20 for 23 from the floor, they're going to have a good night. He's got to be successful. Vanderbilt goes as Scottie Pippen Jr. goes, period.
No question. Yeah.
So tonight's biggest game, I think, would have to be the Pac-12. They've got third-ranked UCLA heading to seventh-ranked Arizona. Tennessee fans, big fans of the Wildcats tonight, I'm sure. Always fans of – anytime Arizona's playing, we hope they win.
Yeah, because you need for that win over Arizona to continue to be a good win if you're Tennessee as they look toward the postseason and seeding and net and that kind of thing. So
Liberty has already beaten Bellarmine today, 66-53. Lipscomb playing later tonight, as we told you earlier. North Alabama is hosting Jacksonville. Jacksonville State is hosting North Florida. So plenty of ASUN action. And, of course, in the OVC right here, I don't know if you saw the I believe it was the Tennessee State Barstool account, which is ironic in and of itself. Tennessee State's Barstool account had tweeted at Belmont to bring their big friends or something. It's like, don't forget to bring your big friends to across the way. So the Battle of Nashville tonight.
TSU has a Barstool account, huh?
Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah.
But Tennessee State obviously 9-13 in the league, 9-13 overall, 4-6 in the league. And then Belmont, obviously one of the better teams in the OVC, year in and year out. This is a game that Tennessee State, every year at Tennessee State, there always seems to be one team or one night where they just go off and they can't miss from outside. This would be a great night for that to happen for the Tigers.
Well, and they've got the guys to do it with Carlos Marshall and Marcus Fitzgerald, among others. Yeah, it could happen.
It happens once a year. So, be watching out. Be watching out. When we come back, it's going to be full-on National Signing Day. We'll get some reports from our friends across Main Street Preps area. So please stick around, find out what those guys had to say from all across the mid-state. We'll be back on Main Street Sports today. Again, National Signing Day coming up after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. You know what song that sounds like, Mo? Hit your thing. Yeah.
I think it's fitting too, Chris, that the name of this song, Crack Skippy the Skunk.
Oh, I love the skunk. I love the skunk on I'll tell you, my sunroom does not smell like skunk anymore, so
Good.
That's a positive.
We're all thankful for that.
Oh, yeah, well, we should be. It is the day after National Signing Day. We had several in our area, Mo, who were able to get a chance to further their athletic and academic careers. Among those, Jack Rummel headed to Tennessee Tech, wide receiver at Independence, quarterback at Independence. Joseph Cummings headed to Birmingham Southern. Dontavius Ellison from down in Mount Pleasant, we mentioned yesterday, is heading to Bethel. Brady Pierce going to Kentucky with a preferred walk-on status. Anybody else I'm missing?
Tanner Shake from Summit is going to Georgetown, Kentucky. Let's see. Brady Jenkins from
yeah, that's where I was going.
Go ahead.
Independence linebacker Brady Jenkins headed to Lindsey Wilson.
Also, Independence kicker Sam Hinkie going north of the border.
Toronto, right?
He's going to play at the University of Toronto, which I presume will be 12-man football.
I don't know, but it will give him a leg up to play in the CFL after school.
Well, you are searching today.
That was not look. I was going to say that, and then I realized what it was before I said it. So
he's a punny guy.
It's like watching a car crash. Slow motion.
You can't.
And not being able to do anything about it. I actually had that happen once.
Yeah, just watching a car crash.
Mm-hmm. Watching someone hit me specifically. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's about it for our football signings from yesterday.
I think Michael Abbott from Summertown also signed with Bethel. At least Bethel put something out to that effect. So,
well,
they should know.
Guess they would know. Well, we had several from around the mid-state who did get a chance to, again, further their athletic and academic careers. And we caught up with several of our Main Street Preps colleagues to get reports from them and put together a little montage. So we will let them tell you about all of their signees on Main Street Sports Today now.
National Signing Day from Main Street Preps.
This is Russell Venozzi with Main Street Preps, and now that signing day is in the books, you can go online to our website, mainstreetpreps.com, and check out the master list of Nashville area signees from all the various sports. A bunch of dreams came true this week and will continue to come true over the coming weeks as all these seniors are finalizing their decisions. But yesterday on signing day, I went over to Donaldson Christian Academy to see the defending state champions over there. Their football team had 4 signees. Big haul for them. A very small school. They've only got about 35 players on their entire team and only about 13 or 14 guys in their entire senior class. So to have 4 guys signing onto the next level is a pretty big deal for them. And the 4 that signed are quarterback Bradford Gaines. He was a Mr. Football semifinals, had a really good year for them. Outside linebacker Nolan Forsha is following in his brother's footsteps to Tyler Junior College, taking the JUCO route. Hayden France, a versatile offensive lineman who could play center or guard in college, is going to the University of Rochester in New York, where his father grew up. And their leading wide receiver, Dayton Sneed, has decided to pass up some small school offers to go to Murray State to be a preferred walk-on there at the Division I level. After that was over, I made the trek down to Franklin at Battleground Academy, another alphabet school there, BGA. They had a nice ceremony in their football facility honoring football players, but also players from several other sports as well. The list there was highlighted by Sean Williams. He's a running back that had a big season for them, rushing for about 1,300 yards and 16 touchdowns. And it was also a valuable defensive back, and that's what he's going to be at Dartmouth College there in the Ivy League next year. He chose Dartmouth over a preferred walk-on spot at Vanderbilt and an offer from Yale that came in late last month. But he should be a story up on him as well on Main Street Preps this afternoon with kind of detailing his decision. And BGA is going to have to replace a lot from its football team because 4 other guys also signed and several others are expected to join them in the coming weeks. And those were A.J. Macklemore, who's going to Birmingham Southern College, Lil Barnett, Lane Sutherland, and Zach Flores all signed to Center College. So they'll continue to be teammates there.
Hey, everybody. It is Zach Womble with the Gallatin News, the Hendersonville Standard, and the Portland Sun, your Sumner County sports editor, giving you a quick National Signing Day update. We've had a lot of kids sign to continue their athletic and academic careers at the next level, but none bigger than 2 here in Hendersonville, one being Jameson Wharton at Hendersonville High School and the other being Beach wide receiver Andrew Page. Both are going to continue their careers at Vanderbilt University, SEC, Power 5, both 3-star athletes. Let's start with Jameson Wharton. What does the tape tell us? He's a 6'3", long, rangy corner that has a ton of speed and a ton of upside. Been labeled a diamond in the rough. Knows he has a lot of work to do on his technique, but when you run a 10-6 100-meter dash, that's something you can't teach, and that's something the Vanderbilt coaches coveted. He's a very good corner who did not get tested a lot this year. So he doesn't have great stats, but he did have more than 10 pass breakups when he was targeted throughout 15 games this year. Most notably, he picked up an Ole Miss offer following Hendersonville's game against Summit in the Class 6A semifinals, where he held Brady Pierce, who is going to the University of Kentucky on a preferred walk-on scholarship, the preferred walk-on, held him to only 1 catch. So that was really his time to get himself out there, solidify his name. But again, that 10-6 100-meter dash speed is what coaches gushed over. It's what made Ole Miss want him, and eventually Vandy jumped on board. And then once Vandy jumped on board, it was all Commodore Nation. He really loves what they have. He loves the family atmosphere. He loves what Clark Lee is doing. Feels they are turning over a new leaf on West End and is excited to compete for an SEC championship. Now the other guy, Andrew Pate. Commodore fans, hear me when I say this. Get to know Andrew Page because I think he will be on the field a lot sooner than you think. This is a 6'4", 6'5", hybrid wide receiver that's about 220, 225 pounds, has plans to move to H-back/tight end. And if that's the case, his athleticism is going to allow him to create a lot of mismatches at that position. This is a guy that has exploded onto the recruiting scene, a guy on the basketball court whose head is getting above the rim, so you know he can go up and get those 50-50 balls and bring them down to you. I joked as a Tennessee fan not to go too crazy when playing the balls, but this is a guy who I think Commodore fans are going to grow to love and one who I think you could potentially see on Sundays. Again, this is a guy with an NFL body, 6'4", 6'5", 220, can go up, high point the football. And I wouldn't put it out of the question that they could potentially look at him at a linebacker position or a rover on defense, something like that. He's a big physical specimen and one that I think Commodore fans are going to really love watching over the next 3-4 years, potentially 4 years, maybe longer with how red shirts and COVID goes, but this is a guy I do not see redshirting whatsoever. This is a guy I think can come in, step in, and give an immediate impact for Clark Lee's offense. So, again, Jameson Wharton, Andrew Pate, our two biggest football stars, both rated 3 stars by 247 Sports, going to be playing a lot of good football for Vanderbilt University in the coming season. Not to be outdone, however, you've got Ellis from Hendersonville going to Austin Peay State University. This is a guy I firmly believe is someone whose size was a detriment to him. He's only 5'8", 5'9". If he was 6'3", 6'4", I think he's Power 5 talent. This is a ball-hawking safety, a running back who is very simple in his motto. Get the ball, score the ball, or on defense, see ball, hit ball. This is a guy who is a true ball hawk to the nature, who is someone who I think can get upwards of 6, 7 interceptions at the FCS level, and someone who I think can really blossom and explode and potentially hit that transfer portal after only 1 year with the Governors and potentially get himself to a higher level of competition. But again, not to be outdone, I think Ellis, one of the best players in the county, and Governor fans are going to be super happy to have him. Not sure how long you're going to have him, but nevertheless, Scotty Walden, a huge pickup for him in Austin Peay State University. Also looking at a couple other names from around the county, Luke Manning, Hendersonville quarterback, who set the school record this year for most passing touchdowns in a season with 21. Going to continue his education and athletic career at Campbellsville University. Has an opportunity to come in, step in, and be quarterback 1 immediately. So those are our big football recruits around the county. Of course, there's some other guys, baseball, soccer, track and field athletes that have signed as well. You can, of course, check out the full list of names on MainStreetPreps.com where Nashville area athletes have signed. If you want in-depth look at Andrew Page or Jameson Wharton Vanderbilt fans, head on over to MainStreetPreps.com, go to Sumner County or Davidson County, click that, or you can find it on Twitter under my handle at Zach Womble MSP.
Hi, everybody. Tommy Bryan, sports editor of the Wilson Post in Lebanon. We had a busy National Signing Day. Mid-South Conference, NAIA, made some big inroads into Wilson County. I'll run through some of those for you. I tell you, somebody had a really big haul was NAIA power Lindsey Wilson. They signed Brady Watts, a wide receiver from Watertown, Tyson King, lineman from Green Hill, Dwayne D'Lo Brown, defensive back from Lebanon, Green Hill offensive lineman, Tyson King, and Robbie Spickard, a linebacker, a defensive back with Wilson Central. They all signed with Lindsey Wilson. And then here's a pretty good little carpool going from Wilson County to Georgetown College, also a Mid-South Conference power. Brandon Martin, defensive back at Lebanon, and Wilson Central linebacker Blake Hobbs, both signed with the Fighting Tigers of Georgetown. Bethel's made some good inroads in Wilson County. Colin Jarrell, a lineman for Green Hill, and Fabian Walker, tight end at Lebanon, signed with Bethel. Now, Colin's kind of an interesting story. He sees himself as a fullback, but given the way that Green Hill's football team was put together, he had to play in the line. He played guard for them, and they let him run the ball in some goal line situations. So he's going to get a chance to play fullback at Bethel. Bethel uses an offset fullback quite a bit, so he's going to get a chance to play there. And probably one of the bigger signees, Mount Juliet High All-State defensive lineman Jeffrey Pillows signed with Tennessee Tech. So he's the lone FCS division kid that we had signed in Wilson County. Still waiting on some names for some more Wilson Central kids. But overall, a really good day, National Signing Day for football here in Wilson County.
Blaine Keller reporting with the Robertson County Connection. On National Signing Day, a pair of Greenbrier student athletes furthered their college careers and their high school careers to play the next level. 3-star athlete Derek Taylor announced his commitment on Monday as a preferred walk-on to the University of Tennessee. He signed alongside offensive and defensive lineman Paxton Manis at the same ceremony on Wednesday morning. Derek Taylor, 3-star recruit by the 24/7 Sports Composite, Knoxville was a dream school for him, and that's where he ultimately ended up, spurning offers from Marshall, Michigan State, Austin Peay, and Eastern Kentucky. Manis signed with Cumberland as a lineman. He was a 3-time All-Region 5-4A member, and as a junior was Greenbrier's offensive MVP.
And this is Main Street Prep's Tyler Palmatier. Signing day has come and gone at this point, and really, as we all kind of know, the second signing day lacks a little bit of drama these days because that early signing period has opened the door for that's really when a lot of the people are waiting for a lot of commitments. Most of what we call the 4 or 5 star guys, most of them do sign during that first one in December. So the second one has kind of developed this reputation as not being very dramatic. I mean, for instance, Auburn, I don't believe signed anyone yesterday, which is sort of crazy. But there's still some. And when you look at our area, Jordan James stands out above the rest. He was our Main Street Preps Player of the Year. Great running back from Oakland. Long-time Georgia commitment and didn't sign during that first period. And that's kind of a signal these days. If you're that level of a running back like Jordan, if you don't sign during that first one, you're kind of tipping your hand that you're looking elsewhere. And he certainly did, and he ended up choosing Oregon. He was blown away by that visit, he said, and that just changed his mind completely. So that's that. We had some drama. Andrew Page from Beach going to Vanderbilt. That was not known until kind of right up until signing day. So there's still some drama out there. And really, signing day is awesome for a lot of reasons. You know, one, as mentioned, it really does. It's the future of the Power 5 football landscape in college football. So on one end, you have that. On another end, you have guys that are just looking for homes to try and get to that Division I Power 5 level. A great example, Hillsboro's Mike Jones, defensive back wide receiver. He's going to go to Iowa Western Community College. He's a guy who didn't find that Division I home right out of high school, but definitely a candidate to Western has pumped out a number of Division I guys. So you're happy for guys like that just find that place to stop and fill some time, maybe build mentally and physically, and then get to the other level. That's as you can celebrate that just like you can anything else. And then you have a level of guys that are just trying to go get an education. There's so many great things about it when you go to a signing day and just watch the smiles and see kids just be excited about their futures. And I personally went over to Ravenwood yesterday and wrote a story about Isaac Rollins, who the Ravenwood defensive back, who was just dead set on going to an Ivy League school. Probably could have found a somewhere a mid-major to play, or maybe maybe somewhere in the Power 5. But this was a kid that just wanted to go Ivy League, and he ended up signing with Harvard and was kind of pursued and looked at a lot of different ones like Yale, Northwestern. Duke was after him for a while, and you go pick a kid's brain like that for a while, and it's pretty fascinating. He's interested in fashion and art, and he wants to go get a business degree and kind of couple the two things together. So I had a lot of fun writing that. Super interesting kid. Also notable at Ravenwood, Lee Millette signed with Connecticut as a defensive back, which of course he played two ways in high school. But I always had kind of just in my brain penciled him in as a receiver, but ends up he's going to be a big, rangy defensive back that I think could have a good career at UConn. So those are kind of a few of the notable things I saw on this signing day. And here's kind of the last thing that stood out to me, and it wasn't even technically a signing day story, but Page quarterback Jake Mcnamara, he was in college classes on signing day yesterday. He's been enrolled at UTEP for about a week. And if you don't know Jake's story, a day before the state championship game that he played in, Colorado State's coach was fired, and Jake was left without a home. He was left without a school to go to, and he was going to be a mid-year enrollee. So he had a few weeks, or a month to find a new school to try and get to, and ended up landing at UTEP. There's a connection with his quarterback coach, Jordan Palmer, who used to play there. So found a home, and it's not really a signing day story, right? I mean, the agreement's kind of been in the book for a few weeks now, but he had to find a place. And so while everybody else was signing, he was a guy that still had to find somewhere. And, he was walking out of a college class in what should have been the second semester of his high school senior year. So I'm telling you, it's definitely a different landscape these days with 2 signing days and a transfer portal and a lot of activity in college. It is a wild rodeo, high school football to college recruiting, because it's anyone's guess anytime, and throw the coaching carousel in there. It's tough to figure out. You've still got guys that are, the signing period just begins. It just began yesterday. The period goes on, so it'll be interesting to see where there'll be other chips that'll fall, guys from the area. So we'll definitely be keeping you on top of all that stuff at MainStreetPreps.com.
Gonna do it for this segment. I hope you got some great information out of that. Mo, I'm not sure if heck if I know about at this point about whether or not Bradford Gaines they told where he was going to go, but the answer is Lindsey Wilson. If Russell did not mention where DCA's Bradford Gaines is headed, it is Lindsey Wilson. So there you go. Plenty to talk about on the other side of the break as we get ready to get out of here. So we will come right back on Main Street Sports Today after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Mo, I want to mention this, and Tyler Palmatier was talking about Jake Mcnamara being at UTEP, and he wrote a great story about Jake being at UTEP and after Colorado State and all of that kind of fell through. According to this story, Jay Norvell never contacted the McNamaras at all. Never even gave him a phone call, right? Norvell tells the Denver Post, it's not a thing that people like to hear, that they had a scholarship. They had committed to Colorado State. Now you've got a new coaching staff and you kind of have to start all over again. It's unfortunate, but it is the reality. Some of those players will fit our needs going forward and probably some of them won't. Yeah, they probably wouldn't have liked to have heard it, but they would like to have heard it. Jay?
Yeah, I mean, that's I would like to think that as a football coach, Jay Norvell has had to tell some people some things that they didn't want to hear. I mean, it's not always a sunshine and lollipops type situation, and I think I think you characterized it pretty well. While the Mcnamara family didn't want to hear that, hey, you're not going to be a fit for us going forward. It's better than not hearing anything.
Pick up the phone.
I mean, it's about respect, I think.
Yeah.
And it's about, doing things the right way. And, in that particular case, I mean, treating a kid the way you would want your kid treated.
It's not hard.
It's not hard. It is hard. It's a tough conversation to make, but if that's where they felt like they were with Jake, then tell him that.
That's
rather than just going dark on a kid like that. Kid didn't do anything to deserve that.
Kid did nothing to deserve it. All he did was lead his team to a state championship game and darn near willed them to win it. So,
and to the degree that, as the fan of another Conference USA school, that I can do so, I wish him well at UTEP.
It's a good thing that Jordan Palmer is giving out quarterback lessons these days, the former Miners quarterback, because he's the one who turned on the coaching staff out there to his availability. And now Jake is in El Paso, for better or worse. He says he likes it out there, but it's El Paso. So,
I mean, you kind of think he would have liked it anywhere when it was fun to watch.
He was fun to watch. I really
it's going to be
him.
interesting to see what he does at the next level.
No question there. Biggest, it sounded to me like the biggest surprise of the day was the Andrew Page signing to Vanderbilt. And we talked about it yesterday because we didn't know how, he says he's planning on playing H-back and tight end at Vanderbilt. I didn't know that. I guess I didn't know it was a surprise that Andrew Page was going to go to Vanderbilt. I mean, I don't keep up with recruiting very often, so I think it's just cool that, mid-state kids getting a chance.
I don't know if he was committed to MTSU or what the situation was, but MTSU and Vanderbilt were the two schools that had been associated with him, going into yesterday morning. So, 6'5", 220-ish, I think he said. And that's as Bobby Johnson would say, that's kind of ready-made, I think, for SEC play. So, I mean, when Zach was saying that he doesn't expect him to redshirt, I can understand that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. To go through the list of the schools that mid-state kids will be signing to. We've talked about this throughout football season. We've talked about it on this show so many times. It is amazing the level of play that we have seen from Middle Tennessee high school football over the last few years. And this is just a culmination of that, Mo.
Yeah. I mean, as you watch high school football in this area over the course of the past season, I mean, it felt like just about everywhere you went, you saw somebody that could play at the next level. And obviously the next level takes a lot of forms, like Tyler was saying at the end of the last segment, whether it's NAIA, whether it's junior college, whether it's Power 5, there's a lot of kids that want to go to the next level and play, and there's a lot of opportunities. And I think a lot of kids we saw over the course of this past year that are going to have a chance to be impact guys wherever it is that they get to. So we wish those guys luck and health and diligence, because it takes a lot. I tell folks all the time, if you don't know if you want to play college ball, regardless of the sport, you don't want to play, because it's tough enough when you do. So,
Coach Brian Nardo on Twitter. There's 836 college football programs in the country: FBS, FCS, Division II, III, NAIA, and junior college. If you're given an opportunity to play at any of these programs, be thankful. Those chances aren't as easy to get as people think. 836 college football programs. It's pretty impressive. Glad to see several of our kids. Go ahead.
Here's another one from On Top Athletics. Hey, 2022 signees. Yesterday is over. The red carpet is over. The school you signed with is now looking for a 2023 signee to replace you. So continue to work and don't get satisfied.
That's the truth.
Hashtag STHUAW. And some of you can probably figure that one out, and we're not going to get into it if you can't.
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, shut the heck up and work. There
you go.
Yeah.
Go to work. It's time. You've signed your letter. The good times are over.
It's
the
not
good times
over.
are
It just
over.
started. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, that's going to do it. We'll talk some more signing day stuff tomorrow, because some SEC coaches basically got into a fight in the media over the last day. So we'll certainly dive into all of the comments from Southeastern Conference football coaches tomorrow, and much more. Friday is always a good time. And Mo, I think you scheduled us a guest for tomorrow, right?
I did schedule us a guest for tomorrow. What is his name? What did I tell you his name was? He's from the Daily Memphian, and he's going to talk to us about the Southern Heritage Classic, or lack thereof at this moment. Frank Bonner II from the Daily Memphian is going to give us some insight into the Jackson State, Tennessee State matchup that is no longer.
A lot of great stuff coming your way tomorrow on Main Street Sports Today, just as it is every day. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We will see you tomorrow for more Mo and JP. I'm Chris Yao. Have a great Thursday evening.